London, March 1946. A few years ago, you would have seen this as a place of refuge, around for the rich and poor alike to grow and thrive. But that was before the war. Nowadays, life is only rubble and ash. Nothing more than a cesspool of dark clouds and even darker souls, hidden behind the shadow of garden arts and false faces.
There's been another one. It's different this time. Thought you might be interested. Meet us at Austin Square Passage, 0800 hours.
Well, you sure as hell know how to take your time, huh?
Sergeant Bennett, any new developments?
Nothing yet. Forensics didn't make much of a start until this morning.
What do we know?
Not enough. Our main hypothesis is potential suicide, explained through the bullet through the head. No eyewitnesses or additional evidence have been found. Hey, between you and me, I haven't told anyone else, but...
But what?
You really think we have another serial killer?
Not sure yet. We can't rule out any possibilities, though.
No need to worry about that. His name is Joseph Lucia, age 42, married for 14 years. Originally from Poland, though he had connections to our good friend Billy Hill.
I'm sorry, but who might you be?
Inspector David Cartwright. I'm here with Scotland Yard.
Well, took you long enough.
What do you know about this?
No more than you, I'd imagine. Well, other than find the murder weapon in some rubbish bags a few minutes away. A Smith & Wesson Model 10. Common model for these thugs.
You mean his own gun?
Well, who else? Unless you believe it was Hitler's.
Gentlemen, please, we aren't going to get far if we keep bickering at each other like this.
You're right. No, it lines up with the empty holster under his jacket.
So either he was incredibly idiotic for a member of a dangerous crime syndicate,
Or he trusted whoever was with him, leading him to let his guard down.
Possibly.
What if we're looking at it from the wrong perspective? Let's try focusing on the body first and see if there's a pattern that links him to the others.
Oh, please. Be my guest.
Oh, of course you would say that, wouldn't you, mister? Don't mind me for being late, even if I'm better than all of you at your own jobs. If you think you can do a better job on this case, then go ahead.
Careful there, Sergeant. That almost sounds like a suspension.
You son of a...
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Detective?
What's he found?
Have you all seriously not noticed?
Notice what?
Come over here. Notice something's missing?
Other than a gun and some of his brain? We already knew that.
No. I mean the broken finger on his left hand. You said he was still married, correct?
Yes. So?
So? Where's his wedding ring?
Can I help you?
Miss Lucia, my name is Detective Helcove.
I'm here to discuss the issue about your husband. I'm afraid he was murdered last night at around 2:30 a.m.
Oh,
I'd like to ask you some questions regarding these past few months. May I come in? You seem to have quite the place here.
thank you. It's not much, though. I'm sorry. It's a bit of a mess.
Is this your child? He seems like quite a young man.
He was quite a wild card at times. Downright tiring at points, but he always had a kind heart. I wouldn't trade him for anything else.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Spoa, tell me, what happened?
Well, info is scarce, but we are believing that our suspect framed him for a recent string of murders, only to kill him in a way that looked like a suicide to cover up their own tracks.
Well, then, who's the suspect now?
You.
I'm sorry, what?
I just need to ask you some questions. I need to know what you were doing and where you were the night he was killed.
I was, in the house, as usual, doing work. It's not like I could do much else. I'm sorry, but this seems unnecessary. Why do you think it was me?
The ring on his finger, who was taken away. Of course, the murderer could be a jewel thief too, but in correlation to the other killings. It doesn't match any of the other patterns. So, I'll ask you one more time. Where were you the night your husband was killed?
Do you remember what it was like? Every night worrying if you're gonna make it or not. It was a lottery. Betting everything you had just to make it to tomorrow. You know, he always wanted me to stay at home and ensure the safety and function of the family unit. Our son is dead because of him. He cared for nothing but himself. The same man who ran off every night when those bloody sirens blew and left me alone. He never, not once, cared to ask how I felt. It was always about him. The next task, how the boys were doing, the trouble he's in, the debt, the alcohol, all because of him. He always loved to think he was so special. So much that he left me on the streets alone with the corpse of my offspring, the child I conceived into this world, laying dead in my own arms. He had no right to add to the damage and suffering we already had. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't want to kill anyone. But I'm tired of staying quiet about this. What do we do when those we trust? What do we do when our own kind turn on using fear and power in this world where everything goes to hell? We just sit and obey, cowering in fear while they think we'll be kind to them as if we're strays who won't bark back and will sit and roll on our bellies when commanded. I wanted a life too. I wanted my boy to have one. I wanted so much.
You've heard the phrase, war changes a man. But no one said it, only stayed on the battlefield. From my experience, it's always the things that they love. Money, addiction, freedom, loved ones, legacy. What interested me about this case was that we never knew the reason behind the killings. We imagined it to be another wannabe vigilante or a morally imbalanced serial killer. What we forgot throughout all of it was the human side. Makes you think, doesn't it? How the circumstances of war changes all. Though, we can't ignore or justify the acts in the name of pity. Maybe, just maybe, if we search hard enough, we can find the root of this crumbling city and limit the damage done. Documented recollections of Detective Jacob Helcove, London, March 1946.